button.
Okay.
Okay, so we're recording. Awesome. So first and foremost, welcome to this live training call, guys. We're going to be running over some stuff in terms of video. I've got my good friend here, Sean Logan. We have done lots of trainings before in the past, but today we're just going to be focusing purely on video marketing, and kind of the strategy behind video marketing. What I see out in the marketplace when it comes to online marketing is a lot of people don't have a method behind their madness. And what I mean by that is they really struggle to have a strategy or to employ the right type of strategy to make sure that when they're actually focusing on generating traffic, what they're doing with that traffic and how to actually put a strategy in behind that so that your results, your sales results, your conversions are higher, and you're actually, seeing the results that you want in your business, whatever that business might be. We're not going to really talk too much on particular businesses or anything like that today. This is an overall marketing training. So we just hope that you get value from this. And you see the benefit in the value inside this video. So first and foremost, we're going to start off with a couple of things. I'm going to introduce Sean first and foremost, the background. A little bit about Sean's background. We've worked together. I've explained that previously in the past. So Sean's got years and years of experience in video marketing. He's actually done it on a professional level. And if you guys want to go check out some of his stuff, you'll see a lot of his reels, super professional, and the way he puts them together and the way he cultivates those reels and the short form video marketing is super powerful. So you can go and look for yourself. You can go and look at his portfolio for yourself, and you'll get an idea of the work that he puts together. So, I'm just really grateful to have Sean on here and to be doing these type of trainings with him. So welcome on the call, Sean.
Thanks for having me, Cole.
Super excited, super excited to go over some stuff today. So the first thing we're going to be going over, and we're just going to dive straight into it and unpack this strategy for you guys, because we don't want to waste your time. Number one, we're happy that you're here. And then number two, if you're watching this on the live stream, we're going to be keeping an eye on that. So I'll get you to keep an eye if any comments or anything comes through on that end, Sean, just to make sure that we're serving our people. So the first thing that we're going to be going over is the importance of picking your platform. So I want to talk about, first and foremost, the difference between paid marketing and organic marketing, and the difference between the two, and why we really like organic traffic, right? And using video as a way to, I guess, increase your results. So when it comes to paid marketing, the problem is, when you jump on, guys, just mute out if you can, that'd be awesome. The thing with paid marketing is, the problem is you have to turn on the paid marketing and turn it off, right? So it means that your leads stop. So with organic marketing, the powerful thing with this is it's evergreen, right? And it's always going to be there, and it has the ability to cultivate leads with content that you might have posted months and months and months ago, depending on how valuable that content is. So first and foremost, we're going to talk a little bit about the community framework. And what I mean by that is using your social media as an avenue to actually create a community and treat it almost like a sales funnel, and using video to channel people into that community framework. So the first thing I want you guys to have a think about, and maybe you can post this in the Facebook Live, what platform you prefer to use. And we're going to talk more about this. And I'm going to ask Sean, I just want to ask Sean a question because I value his opinion here. What is the platform that you generally use for traffic, Sean? What's the main kind of platform you've been using, especially in 2023 for traffic?
So in 2023 right now, because of the way the algorithms have changed, I believe that TikTok is the best one to generate new traffic. Over the years, I mean, I started marketing before TikTok was even in existence, and there's been different platforms over the years, but everything is always evolving. Social media platforms are always changing. There's always new ones coming up, and the algorithms are always changing. So right now, in my personal opinion, TikTok is the best one because of the way the algorithm is designed. It allows someone with zero following, zero influence to go on, make a video, use the right hashtags, go viral, and potentially get hundreds of thousands of views or even millions of views in a very, very short period of time.
Yeah, that's super cool. And like TikTok is definitely something that I've picked up along the way by watching a lot of Sean's content and trainings as well. So highly recommend that as well, guys. It's super important. TikTok is a great place for traffic. And just give us an idea, Sean, of the type of numbers, because I'm a data person, right? Marketing is about data. It's about, okay, we need to establish, number one, where we're going to get our leads. Number two, what marketing strategy we're going to use, hooks, etc. What's working? We need to establish what's working and what's not. And that will bring me on to my next topic in a second. But first and foremost, give us some ideas of, because I know that you've been banned before on TikTok, maybe 2 or 3 times. So just talk us through and walk us through and unpack how you started from 0 followers again to now what you're at about, what is it, 10,000, maybe more? Like, I'm not too sure. I haven't looked at your TikTok in a while, but I know it's up there.
I'm on my 5th TikTok. They deleted and banned all my other ones. My 5th one, I started around 60 days ago or so. This one's at like, I think I'm almost at 7,000 or 8,000 followers. Over 750,000 views on my latest one. But with TikTok, and this is true now for Instagram Reels, for Facebook Reels, for Snapchat Stories, Instagram Stories, Snapchat Stories, almost all the platforms favor a vertical aspect ratio video because of the shape of the iPhone. And this comes in the form of the Reels and the Stories. And what I've noticed is that the algorithm rewards you with more views for using those specific features. Now, this all started back with an app called Snapchat. Snapchat was all vertical aspect ratio stories, and it was such a big hit that Instagram copied them, Facebook copied them, even YouTube added stories for a while. I'm not sure if they still have it, but now they changed it to shorts, where you get upload 60-second vertical aspect ratio videos. And TikTok also favors the short form vertical aspect ratio videos. Now, because of this dynamic, it's important to film all your videos in that ratio. And because of the way that the scroll feature works, so imagine when you're scrolling on your news feed, it's literally just a quick flip of the thumb and it's gone, it's gone, it's gone, it's gone. You have 5 seconds to captivate your audience and hook them in so that they stop scrolling. So the first 5 seconds of your video, you need to have a hook. And you need to edit your video so that almost on the very first frame, you begin your speaking. Because if there's like a half-second pause before you speak, that's all it takes for me to just lose interest and scroll past you. So a hook, for example, could be something like, here's something that you didn't know about, and then you talk about whatever industry you're in or whatever niche market you're in. Or a hook could be something like top 5 things to, and then the desired outcome, and then you go into those bullet points. So you've got to have something that hooks people with some kind of value that's relevant to the niche you're targeting. Or if you can just say something that's really, really profound that gets people's attention, that's like, whoa, like I got it. Whoa, what is this person's talking about? I never knew about that. I'm going to share it because I want to get this information out. And that's how you go viral, is you got to get people to share. And people will share if they find something valuable that is relevant to them and their whole niche market, which you are specifically targeting, or if you can just say something that's really, really profound and shocking and like mind-blowing, then people will typically share it. Or if it's funny, comedy. People love to share laughter. So if you can even say something funny that makes people laugh, you have a higher probability of getting shared. Everyone follow me so far?
Yeah, that's perfect. And that really sums up. And we're going to speak more about that strategy that we've been using with video, because I remember back before video was a thing, we tend to use that exact strategy or very similar strategy with our copywriting. And now we're using it with our video. So it hasn't really changed, but we're actually getting on video and getting in front of people. And I can tell this from an experience standpoint, getting on video and sharing your message as well is a lot better way. It's 10 times, 100 times better with connecting with your audience. Short-term vertical ratio marketing is not about trying to sell people straight off that reel, right? It's actually about building or actually driving people across to your longer form content. We're going to talk about the strategy behind this, because I know that Sean does this. I know that Sean has longer form content, for instance, on his YouTube. Now, this is when you can really start moving people or helping people migrate from one platform to something that I guess is going to serve them in a way where it's going to help them understand that you're providing true value, right? And longer form content as well. But because we live in a TikTok society, right, and everybody wants everything for nothing yesterday, the most important thing is we need to capture their attention. We need to get eyeballs, right, on your offer. And how do we do that? We do that with short form vertical ratio marketing, right? So the next step is understanding, okay, Cole, you might be saying, Cole, Sean, I'm brand new to this. I would say it's better to be brand new now than it was when we had to work all this stuff out and we made so many mistakes. You know, as you know, making mistakes is not an issue, right? It's part of the journey. So what I want to talk you guys through, and as we move forward and see, Sean's perfectly segued this in actually, is into a strategy that I utilize, and it's called VVO. Okay, so for somebody that's starting out, I want to ask you, Sean, what's the most important thing that people need to do when they're first starting out in video marketing? What's the first thing they need to do, in your opinion?
Get comfortable on camera, or just becoming so fluent on camera that you can just start producing content on the fly without having to sit there and like think about what you're going to say. So let me give you an example of this. I call it a flow state. When you practice something over and over again, you get so good at it that it becomes ingrained into your subconscious mind. And then you can start doing it without thinking about it. That's called a flow state. Professional athletes like snowboarders and BMX bikes, stunt athletes and freestyle FMX riders, surfers, cliff divers, all action sports athletes use a flow state. When they're going off a jump and doing backflips and 360s and 720s, they're not going down the jump thinking, okay, how am I going to do this backflip? They're not thinking about it because they practiced it so much that they just do it and they make it look so smooth and effortless. And that's because they're operating in what's called a flow state. So in order to get really efficient and good at video marketing, your public speaking also needs to be in a flow state. When public speakers are giving 10-minute speeches, 20-minute speeches, 30-minute speeches, hour-long speeches, they're not sitting there thinking, okay, what am I going to say at the 15-minute and 32-second mark of my speech? They're operating in a flow state. It just pulls from their subconscious mind, and it just comes out in a way that is fluid and natural. And that's one of the most important things or one of the most important skills to develop first is your public speaking. And if you don't know what to say, if you can't think of anything interesting to say, you may want to, hit the books, start reading and absorbing interesting, valuable information, and program your subconscious mind with all that valuable information. That way you can just go into that flow state and share it with the world through the power of your voice.
And on that too, well, you mentioned that, Sean, it brought something dropped into my head. It's important that you stay in that flow state as well. And staying in that flow state is as simple as having just some key bullet points, like things to keep you on track while you're doing your video marketing. And it's just really, really small cues. Like a speaker that's speaking on stage, right? They have really small cues. And that's what's happening at the moment. Like me and Sean are in complete flow. We know we've done video marketing before. We've done it together. We've collaborated before together. So I know when to put Sean in the spotlight, and he knows when to put me in the spotlight. And that's kind of how it works on a collaboration level. But in terms of somebody that's basically starting out, Sean, when it comes to video, my advice to people when it comes to video is the first thing you need to establish, obviously, you got to do your branding, you got to establish your niche market, you need to establish authority in the space and some sort of credibility. But where that's going to come is you need to be focused on consistency. You need to be focused on making sure that you're putting out a volume, like amount of content. You need to be putting out content on a regular basis. And then from there, again, we're going to get the data back and kind of see what's working best. Is this something that you use as well? Is this something that worked for you in the beginning when you first started out? Did you just put a whole heap of content out, or were you really focused on getting everything perfect in the beginning?
So when I first started, I mean, I tried my best to get things perfect, but when I look back on some of the first videos that I ever created, compared to now, I look back and I just cringe. I was like, wow, that was so awful compared to what I can produce now. So don't worry about getting everything perfect. Just worry about volume. Put out as much content as you can until you get something that sticks and get some engagement. And then, if you go back and you really don't like some of the first stuff you produced, just delete it and start over again. The fabulous thing about video content is you can just re-record it over and over and over and over until you get one that you like. And you can post videos over and over and over on all kinds of different platforms until one of them finally hits and goes viral. And now you kind of can see what worked. Like, what was the difference between that one video that went viral compared to all the other videos that didn't go viral? And you can start getting some data points on all of your content. And then as you accumulate more and more of these different data points, you start figuring out what works and what doesn't work. You start figuring out your strong points, and you start figuring out how the market responds to different types of content that you're creating. So like what Cole was saying was, in the beginning, again, volume. And this goes back to what I was saying about how when you do something over and over and over and over again, you get really good at it and you get into a flow state. That's what volume is just doing it in large amounts over and over and putting it all over on all the different platforms.
Like the backflip analogy or the snowboarder analogy, like they've practiced it. They've practiced it on a small jump first and then built their way up. Or a BMX rider, they're not just going to go to the biggest jump first, right? They're going to practice it, right, and build their way up and get better and better and better and better. And that comes with volume. So that's the first thing of this VVO strategy, right? And then the second thing, once you have that dialed in, once you're able to perform that backflip to like perfection, and you know who your niche is, you know who you're targeting, and you're getting some real reception with your content. Like Sean, for instance, Sean's TikTok, he knows how to serve his audience, and he knows he can get that audience back very easily. Remember that these platforms, we don't own them, right? And this can become a problem where you can easily get kicked off. So again, don't leave your eggs all in the same basket. But the next thing is, once we've established that, is actually what I call value. So we start to produce not as much content, but it's laser focused and laser targeted on your specific audience. And it's taking away like the volume side of things. You might be doing 3 reels a week, maybe 2 reels a week. Like if you're getting traction with a video, don't go and post another 5 videos, because all it's doing is it's redirecting the algorithm and sending people to your other videos. They know that you're a creator. They know that you're creating value. But all you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot, right? So once you get to that value stage, it's important that you just focus on getting your content bang on and getting your content focused on serving your audience. So what's your take on that, Sean?
My take on that is, I agree. Like once you get one video that starts going viral, I think to keep the interaction on that one video, there is a little response mechanism in the comment section where you can do a text response, like you can respond with a comment, or you can respond with another video message that will be reposted, and it's almost like a continuation of your first video. TikTok has this feature and it creates tons of engagement when you can respond to comments with a video message, and it actually shows, it automatically loads a screenshot of the comment in the corner of your video response, so you can point at it, break it down, and basically rebuttal it if it's if it's like a debate, or you can elaborate on it if it's something that you agree with. And then this also encourages other people to keep commenting, which boosts your engagement. So as you do this and as you start figuring out how to go viral, there's other little tricks and fine-tuning strategies you can do to keep the interaction going by doing the video responses and also encouraging your viewers to leave a comment and share their opinion. And now you got people going back and forth in the comments, having discussions, having real conversations, and that boosts you in the algorithm even more when you have real conversations going on in the comments of your videos.
Yeah, and like that's something that I'm just starting to pick up on now. And the cool thing about that as well is you're able to also drive people from that piece of content to your other pieces of content, because you know that there's people that it's just getting the volume of targeted traffic that you need. And all you're doing is just spreading that out by pushing them across, say, hey, by the way, were you aware of this? And you might post it like, something that's, another video that you've created that's maybe, or a strategy that I really like is to actually, if you're trying to serve people in a way where you've provided value in that short form video, and you're answering people's questions. So people might have questions in the comments section. What you do is you take those questions, you collect that data, and you go out and actually start creating videos around what your audience is saying. So if your audience is saying like, I don't know how to do this, or how do I buy this cryptocurrency, or how do I do that trading strategy, Sean, or whatever it might be, Sean will go out and he'll create a step-by-step process of how to get get your money on an exchange, or how to, whatever it might be. And that's super powerful because you're helping your audience. And I've seen this done time and time again, right? You're using that piece of content that's gone viral to then create videos that your audience is looking for. And this is where you start to create what I call, this is the next stage, and that stage is omnipresence. And omnipresence is actually where you're able to broadcast across multiple platforms and get humongous reach, like massive reach. Like you think of like Gary V, right? You think of like Alex Hormozi, people like that have got massive omnipresence. You open up your Facebook, Gary V. You open up your Instagram, Gary V. You open up your TikTok, Gary V. If that's the people you follow and that's the niche you're in. But what I'm saying is this omnipresence is something that Sean has actually started to utilize, being on multiple platforms, being able to broadcast across multiple platforms. So I just want you to kind of elaborate on that and share your take on omnipresence, Sean.
The importance of omnipresence and posting on multiple platforms not only just establishes your brand awareness, but different platforms have different features that serve for different purposes in building your business. So for example, with TikTok, you are only allowed to upload videos up to 10 minutes long. And that's great for short form content, but what if my business presentation or my pitch that I want to share with a private money lender to get funding for my project, what if it's a complex thing I'm doing and it takes me an hour to articulate it? Well, I need to upload that video, that hour-long presentation on YouTube, because YouTube allows for long form uploads. So different features on different platforms is going to be key in moving forward here. The short form content typically hooks people in. And then if you direct them to a longer form content, that's where they really build trust and rapport with you and really start gaining value. And that's where you are also more potentially likely to convert them into a sale or into a business partner or into an investor for whatever project you're trying to get funding for. Same thing with Instagram. Like Instagram has all these other features that TikTok doesn't really have, like being able to upload photos in the way like on the profile grid of Instagram. It's fantastic if you are in photography, like if you're a photographer or you're in some kind of graphic design business. Instagram is fantastic for showing still images of your work, but TikTok isn't so favorable anywhere near as much for still images. TikTok is mainly dominated by videos. So the different platforms are going to serve different purposes. Different platforms also have certain features that allow you to send direct messages in certain ways that other ones don't. Like in Facebook Messenger, I can hyperlink stuff. I can send PDF documents as attached files. I can do all kinds of stuff as far as attaching files and hyperlinking in a Facebook Messenger chat. I can also send voice messages. I can do video calls and telephone calls from the Messenger chat, where TikTok doesn't really have a messaging system anywhere near as advanced as Facebook. So all the different platforms serve different purposes, and you'll figure this out when you really start using all the different platforms and learn about all the different features, because there's so many of them now. I mean, it would take, I mean, we could make we could do an entire Zoom call just on the different features of like one of these platforms.
I agree. And that's so true. And that's the goal with omnipresence, is to actually reach different types of audiences, because, you know, some people just like hanging out on TikTok and they're not on Facebook, or they like hanging out on Instagram, or they like posting selfies on Instagram, or whatever that might be, right? But that segues really well actually into what I want to talk about now, and the actual strategy behind channeling people across from what I call shallow form content. So, you know, short form content is quite shallow. You know, the goal with it is to actually, like Sean was saying earlier, is to hook people in, right? You're not building massive amounts of authority. You're not building massive amounts of credibility with your short form content. That happens with your long form content. But we need to use what's working, right? As a marketer, we need to use what's working. And as Sean said, they are promoting, these particular platforms are promoting short form vertical ratio marketing. So we use that and we channel people across to our deep, what I call your deep channel, right? Shallow channel, deep channel, right? So the shallow channel is utilizing your vertical ratio marketing to then say, hey, I've put this, go over to my YouTube channel, or hey, I've done this video, and you're pushing people across to then build more credibility with your audience. So this strategy I'm starting to put into practice, and I'm finding it very effective in ways that you can use your stories. Now, in stories as well, if you guys don't know, if you don't do this already, you can put links in your stories. If you're on professional mode, you can put links in there and push people to lives or videos or whatever that might be. It might be a long form business post. But I want you to jump in on this one, Sean, because I know you're itching to jump in on this one, and give me your take on actually using short form to then push people across to a long form piece of content.
In the stories features on Facebook and Instagram, you can add buttons, polls, hyperlinks that will, all someone has to do is tap on the screen and it'll take them right to your YouTube channel or a Vimeo channel or a Rumble channel or a sales page or a ClickFunnels that you built, or it'll just take people back to your TikTok. You have a lot of options in terms of redirecting traffic to different places. You also have a hyperlink in your bio on Instagram. You have a hyperlink in your bio on TikTok. And, whether you're posting a story, a reel, or a TikTok video or a YouTube short, you can always redirect with a call to action or a button or a hyperlink. You can redirect the traffic to anywhere you want it to go. And there's so many features and ways to do it now that it's almost like, well, geez, which one do I pick? So, I mean, just experiment with it, try the different ones. Also keep in mind that there's a large percentage of people that when they are scrolling news feeds, they're doing it with no volume because they're in class or they're in a setting where they can't volume. So you need to put subtitles or captions on all your videos. That way the people who aren't using volume can still read it and still take action when you start redirecting them.
Totally. Super cool. And what I want to talk about as we move forward as well, and just elaborate a little bit more on that in a second, but this meeting's going to close out in 5 minutes. So we wanted to keep this inside 40 minutes, but I just want to run over a strategy I've been using. And I know this is something that's fairly new to Sean as well, utilizing and recycling your long form content. This is a big thing that podcasters are doing now. And there's certain tools and things that you can use out there to completely automate this process. Reach out to Sean and myself if you want to, get the insights on that. But there's ways that you can recycle and actually use content like this, for example, right? And actually break it down, put in subtitle, it'll automatically put in subtitles, right? Your brand, whatever your brand, the color scheme of your brand with the subtitles, a transparent logo, etc. Go and look at some of my reels and you'll be able to see a lot of that's recycled from old videos that I've done, old value that I've provided that's still very relevant. So that's a great strategy as well. I just want to get like your short kind of 30-second take on that, Sean, before we kind of close out.
Now we live in the days of artificial intelligence being integrated into everything. There's artificial intelligence platforms that will take a 40-minute video like this one that we're recording right now on Zoom and rearrange it into a vertical aspect ratio video, add the subtitles and break it up for us. And it'll just generate like a dozen videos short form out of this 40-minute video we just created. Also, Captions app, you can insert like 3-minute videos, or actually I think they upped it to 6-minute, and it'll auto generate your captions. So the AI is really, really revolutionizing how quickly we can produce short form content. I mean, it would take hours and hours to do this the old school way. Now you can do it in minutes with the AI technologies.
Awesome. And that's exactly right. Like, we're here to help you create efficiency, right? And automation does do that. AI does do that, particular softwares, VAs, etc. So that'll be another training for another day. But we just wanted to give you an overview, a bird's eye view of what's possible and how to kind of bring in your strategy into your video marketing to then go viral, like Sean kind of has on TikTok multiple times. So just to close this out, Sean, we're going to finish up in 1 minute, but I just want to say thank you so much for jumping on. And I look forward to having you on again in the near future. And I hope everybody enjoyed this training, and we will see you guys soon.
Thanks, Cole. Thanks for having me. See you guys later.